So I just want to go ahead and take the time to welcome everybody to the chat room and everything. This is your dude, the merciless Reese L. Black, one half of the Carbon Ops Rawcast. And of course, we got the dude, Morpheus, in the building, that boy Kev Hick.
What's going on, bro?
Rawclusive.
Nothing much, man. You eloquently explained everything so nice, so I gotta give you that respect, man. So, yo,
I appreciate that. You talking about on today's video?
I haven't seen today's yet.
What you talking
I've
about?
seen some past shit we gonna get into, blood, because I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I don't know who pissed him off.
A great many things.
Yeah, but we gonna get into that. I also wanted to go ahead and take the time to update you, brother. Sorry that Diggy couldn't be with us at this moment. Of course, he a brand new dad and everything.
Yes.
But also, just in case you were wondering how come we haven't dropped any new content together, it's because the homie's house burned down. So it took the recording studio with it, and his son was born the day after the house went.
Okay.
So he just got to go ahead and he just got to take a hiatus, and there's a case pending and everything. So when all of that gets rectified, we'll come back and we'll go ahead and do season 2. So I'm doing all I can to go ahead and keep the brand going.
And I've noticed, I've been noticing your hustle. I'm like, man, Reese everywhere. I don't see Diggy. I hope everything's great.
So I dropped a video called 5 Reasons the Red Pill Keeps You Single. And then I decided I wanted to go ahead and see if I could flip it around. I wonder if there were some reasons that also may be hindering the ladies. But then I was thinking about really dropping a video on that, and I was like, you know what? No. This right here, I think I need to discuss with the homie, because the homie coaches women.
Mm-hmm.
Not too many cats like yourself coach women. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to go ahead and hear from you. I wonder, is red pill content possibly keeping the women single? Now the thing is, I talk to a lot of girls, outside of platforms and everything, and sometimes I jump on everybody else's platforms when I invite it as well. But it almost seems as if, like, the red pill, I understand the concept. I read all 4 books of The Rational Male, and that's including the one that was just released because I'm very objective. Mm-hmm. The red pill concept pretty much was just bastardized. All it was, it just meant just awareness of human nature, female nature, whatever the case may be. But now the shit has just kind of been taken way too further. So now we have bonehead red pillers who are just basically on some entitlement shit. Yeah. Something that we have never seen. We actually have men asking women, what do they bring to the table? Nigga, you and I have never asked a chick what they bring to the table. We just dated. Yeah. If they like us, they like us. If we like them, we like them. We kicked it. That was it. So, Kev, is the red pill content, is it keeping the lady single?
I think it is. I think somebody asked what's red pill. Put simply, it's like He-Man woman haters, but for adults. like the alfalfa of it all, like the Little Rascals He-Man woman haters club, but for adults. Now, legitimately, it's about the premise of it is just, before I get into your question, because people are asking, the premise of red pill is in essence, men go their own way. Being on your purpose, being on your grind, living for yourself, not living for the benefit of a relationship, not chasing love or chasing women. The same things that women are talking about, we don't need a man, basically men's version of we don't need women. That's what the original premise was, to keep people socially and emotionally independent so that they could live their fullest lives. And if they decided to have love at some point, could come to a situation outside of the desperation of I need a partner, right? Right. That's what red pill, that was the gist of red pill. And you probably even know more than that about me, simply because you've read more of the books. Like I know enough about it because I've had 1,000 conversations, but I haven't read like the doctrine, right? But to your point, red pill has become and morphed into a bitching club for men who have a bunch of grievances with women and who spend most of their time trying to get over on women and agree with each other and pat each other on the back for misusing women. Again, it's become the real life He-Man women's haters club, and it doesn't have any attachment to what the original at least the cult and the following it has almost has no attachment to what the original plan for the red pill was, which was I
Right.
don't need love to make myself happy. I can be happy and be fulfilled without love, which I believe was the original thing. And then it got more and more and more misogynistic and more anti-female and more disrespectful in time. And now the disrespect is like that's the community. The whole community is now anti-simp, disrespectful, and just mad at the world for things that they haven't accomplished and haven't experienced, from and with the opposite sex. But what was your question again? I was just trying to give somebody a gist of what context we're speaking in.
No, we could go ahead and make a remedial because the thing is, a lot of the ladies, they're not on this side of the
Mhm.
conversation. They're not. They just see fucking assholes. That's all they see. See
You
somebody ask, hey, look, somebody just mentioned, what about men ghosting women? See, all of that shit encompasses what we're talking about tonight.
Right, right.
There are certain rules to that shit, but basically, how is this red pill concept, all these platforms, is it also affecting the women? Is it keeping them single as well? Because these men are pretty much just off the hook, taking this concept out of context.
It keeps women single because they don't have viable options for love anymore. Um, it keeps most of the clients that I know that are looking for love in tainted ecosystems. I'll say, every city is its own love ecosystem, right? They have a different culture in every city you go in every state. Like there are different vibes, right? With
Right.
this red pill stuff, because so many men are studying it, they're studying it for pickup artistry, right? They're studying
Mhm.
it for a numbness because they've been hurt before and hurt people. So they pick up this red pill community because it feels good. It feels like a giant support system for men who've been disappointed. And then they turn that anger that they might have had at that one individual woman back out to the world, to every woman, right? And they learn that that's what makes them alpha and that's what makes them real men. That becomes the marketing genius of this whole red pill thing because whoever the guru is at the time is now, as they always tell us, you simps are playing on a woman's vulnerability and the woman's hurtness.
Mhm.
Is that exactly like verbatim not what these red pill content creators are doing with a bunch of hurt men?
Yeah, the new ones, yeah, the bonehead ones, exactly.
So it keeps a lot of my audience and a lot of my clients single longer than they need to be, and sometimes indefinitely because they are now shopping in ecosystems that don't actually have viable options for love. None of the men in this culture, in this populace of men, wherever they might be, are looking for love. They might be a lot of fans of certain gurus online that teach you how to manipulate women, get the most out of women, have some sex with women, and they point out the worst in women and say it belongs to everyone. And they are no different than feminists who go way over to the other side and point out the worst in every man and bastardize us and categorize us by the absolute lowest common denominator for our human nature as men. Right. And so
Mhm.
it's basically sexism um, in religious form because it takes on a religious attitude and a religious tone as these men share their experiences and become more and more enraged at the idea of a person like myself helping women because they assume that I'm helping the type of women that have hurt them. When in fact,
Mm.
I'm helping the women who've been hurt by them, right? I'm helping the women who are raising young versions of them, right? Who will
Mm.
ultimately damage those young versions because some idiot man that was just like them abandoned his child, and that single woman is now burdened with the raising of a young man who she doesn't even like men herself. He didn't like
Right.
her or her dad or his dad, and so it becomes this cycle of really the death of love. And I think that this red pill content is changing the way we communicate with people as human beings, with as man and woman. And I feel like not only does it keep men single, for them it's a choice to pick this red pill up, but for the women that they encounter, it's an involuntary experience that they have to sit through men. I'm sorry, just to find somebody who's not a red pill consumer who just wants to be
Mhm.
loved and wants attention and wants partnership and wants fulfillment and wants cooperation. Like, and I think that red pill is anti-cooperation. They don't value partnership; they value rulership, and I think that that's one of the biggest keys and one of the biggest toxic gems that is always stuck into that content is that once you talk about, okay, you're going to be with a woman, if you got to be with a woman, if you're going to get a girlfriend or a wife, she better be like this and she better do it like this and she better be what you want and do what you say. When they finally accept a woman, it's only because she's allowed rulership.
Mm.
And
That was
that,
funny.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, and that's the only way they accept women is under rulership. And that shit ain't there's nothing masculine about that shit at all.
In the beginning, red pill was nothing about that shit. What you just
Not
mentioned.
at all. Not at
It
all.
was nothing. It was nothing about rulership. It was pretty much just about awareness of like hypergamy. Now let's go ahead and start there. You heard that word. You heard the hell out of hypergamy. And for the people that are just in the chat, what hypergamy is pretty much described as, we'll just say you have a woman who's dating a man who's making six figures. And then she runs into a man who's interested in her who's making seven figures. And then after that, she's running into a man making the same thing and she's finding all of them attractive and she's messing with all of them. That's called being hypergamous. That's pretty much where the focal point of the whole red pill content, of content was. So now we're gonna go back into the area where you just said pain. So like I used to always say, the red pill was pretty much for recovering simps. That's basically what it was. It was dealing with pain. This chick hurt me. She left me for another man. And so now I follow this concept. I'm going to make myself better. But I now learned that the last chick that I was dealing with did not do anything for me. She was just pretty. So now I need a woman in my life that's going to bring something to the table.
Right.
So now let's discuss the table. When did this become such a big freaking deal? And I know we got a content creator out there that you went in on. You even dropped his name. He rates you and then asks you, what are you bringing? We never cared about what a woman was bringing before. Sometimes it was just common sense. You just grew with each other. So why is this table such a big ass focal point this year?
The table is a focal point because it delegitimizes a woman and everything that she might bring to a relationship. It's not a real question. If I ask a woman what she brings to the table, and I'm one of these guys, it's because I've been trained to, because no matter what a woman says, I can tell her I can pay for it. I can tell her there's a lot of you, there are more of you than it is me, so I can get that anywhere. What's next? Oh, everybody's doing that. What's next? If you listen to these conversations that happen, and there have been tons of videos of different people having these conversations. First thing women try to do is tell you what they bring to the table. That's only meant to humiliate. Actually answer that question and stop entering those chats when that's a thing. When men are asking that, they're not asking seriously. They're only waiting for you to say something so they can say, "Oh, that's $200 a week. I can do that. I make six figures. I can afford somebody to do that." Right? No matter what you say. And they always say this. They always say, "Besides sex, what do you bring to the table?" I'm sorry. Besides sex, what the fuck do you bring to the table? Like that, we can just as easily flip this conversation on men. And that's just the point. To say because you go to work and you happen to make more money than someone, you don't have to operate in any form of loyalty. And just to be clear, as much as we like to hear men talk about loyalty, right? And then as soon as the question of loyalty is brought up with these guys, they say, "Well, I make six figures, so I got options. You got to expect me to do my thing, but you better be loyal because there's less of you than it is of me." Or is more you than it is of me. The concept of loyalty is so misunderstood because just the simplified version of loyalty, the simplified definition of loyalty, is it what you do when you have no options and you have this one woman that loves you and no other options? Anybody can be loyal to their only option. That's not loyalty. Loyalty is who you are when you have the opportunities, you have the options, and you still stand next to somebody, you still choose them. Right? That's loyalty. Loyalty is I could play you, I could mess over you, I could use you, but I won't because I'm actually loyal to you. You can be loyal to a person and be at odds with them. You can mess around, like say you and Dickie not cool no more. He piss you off, you're like, "Man, I ain't fucking with Dickie no more." But you never utter a bad word about Dickie because you're loyal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like loyalty requires like a resistance to the temptations that you are offered to do somebody wrong. These men have no loyalty in them, but they want women to do everything and also be loyal, despite the fact that they are unloyal and disloyal and openly disloyal. For what? A couple dollars? I'm sorry. Like this thing about I make six figures, I can sleep with as many women I want doesn't make any sense. Legitimately,
it doesn't.
Legitimately, I'm doing well. This year I'm doing damn good, right? I've never thought, well, you know what? I think I can hide a couple of chicks in the closet because I got money now. I'm getting paper.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid. I'm 6-figure man.
Exercise your sexual options.
Yeah, now I got to exercise my options. And hell, I talk to women for a living, so I have literally thousands of options, right? And hundreds in contact constantly. I've never thought, you know what? I should try cheating on my wife because I have options now. Never crossed my mind. Not once did I think she didn't deserve the loyalty she's always gotten because I have options now, right? Like this red pill thing is not only keeping people single, but it's keeping men and women single. It's completely poisoning the men away from real masculinity and responsibility, and subsequently because of that, fatherhood is suffering, right? And I'm one half of the fatherhood village. So, it's important to us about how a man, approaches his role and responsibility in the home, not because of only what a woman might endure from him, but because of the experience of that child that will be born from them having all the sex that he demands they have, right? Early on the first date and the second date. Once you get a kid, that red pill content places nothing on the shoulders of a man that has made a child. I've never heard a red pill creator. I've not heard one Kevin Samuels moment where he's cussing out a deadbeat dad. You know why? Because that motherfucker's a deadbeat dad. There's no concept of responsibility, of servitude, of community, of being a pillar, of real leadership. All it is get as much money as you can, fuck as many women as you can, and fuck these women. If they require anything from you, go get another one that doesn't. That's the basic of it. And if you go into the comment section, there's a bunch of bitch ass niggas in the comment section that look wrestling fans. They look like wrestling fans. You ever see wrestling? I grew up in the wrestling era, the Attitude Era. I was the Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, all that stuff. Remember when the Rock would come out and he'd be like, "What's your name?" And they'd be like, "My name is." He'd be like, "It doesn't matter what your name is," and the crowd would go crazy, and everybody would be like, Rocky. And
because fans.
Yes, because he disrespected somebody, everybody went crazy. Well, damn it, I was 12. These are grown-ass men, some with gray hair on their nuts, yelling and screaming about this man disrespecting a woman on camera. What kind of grown-ass man is literally worshiping, idolizing another man because because of his ability to disrespect or demean someone and still appear to be winning?
Yeah, because of that man, he's been hurt himself.
And it's not just him. I wish it was just Kevin Samuels, but it's a lot. It's all of them. Every one of them. It's, in fact, there are 10 viral channels probably right now. I can think of a few. I won't give them the credit, but there are about 10 viral channels that just do content dissing people who diss him. They're literally just wrestling fans. This is real life for people, but they're approaching this like wrestling fans. They're watching the beef and they're enjoying it. They're Samuels. Like he just told somebody it doesn't matter what their name is. Like I'm watching wrestling as a girl.
I know.
Weird.
This is the sad part is because I'm a contemporary of Kevin Samuels. I remember when he first launched. All he was doing was he was more into fashion. He was fragrances, sunglasses. He did the Sue Saturdays. He even had
he was black alpha male, alpha M. No, the white dude, alpha M.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was a style channel. This is how you wear your clothes, put the grease on your wrist, all that bullshit. That's what he was doing, and good stuff.
And that's how I ran into him. Some of the juices that I got here in the back, he actually recommended everything, some are brand new. But yeah, that's how I followed him. So I saw the transition into the high value indoctrination. I literally saw it because at first he instituted the men in training, where he pretty much charged I think maybe like $5,000 or whatever, where men come to his summit. He did one in Dallas and everything, where he pretty much is just gaming them up on their presence, their digital footprint, XYZ. It was just basically making professional men better. Women were not included. He tried to make one for the women, but the thing is not too many women signed up. But the men, they were about that. And the thing is, for the first 2 years when he was on, he was coming at the men's next. But then again, men didn't call in no more and shit. Right. Men were just like, we get the point. We just gonna straighten up and do our thing. So the moment he talked about the high value, when that came, he actually talked about it first when he mentioned my man Lawrence from the show Insecure, and how Lawrence ended up evolving into something greater during the show. He got the high-tech job and everything. He was making money. He was having sex with a bunch of women.
Lawrence was
Yeah.
A
So
great
he
many
pretty
ways.
much, yeah. So pretty much that's what he was gaming everybody up on. But what ended up happening was women started calling in and they wanted to know, how do I get this high value man? And
Mm-hmm.
then the train wreck happened. That's when it's like, okay, high value men don't want nobody overweight. They don't want no baby mamas,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the rest. You know the
Mm-hmm.
rest. And the men just sat back and just watched and just became entertained by it. Probably because a lot of these women that were calling in, these were some of our ex-girlfriends. These were some of our best mamas, I mean, baby mamas. These were some of our ex-wives, and we love to see you guys fail and get literally chopped down and
Mm-hmm.
go viral. And
Right.
like you said, the people's fans showed up.
Mm-hmm. The
Boy hit
people.
a
Yeah.
millie.
Yeah. Like you dropped the
Now,
people's elbow on that girl head.
yeah,
You were six at best, and it's like the Rock going back and forth on the ropes on somebody.
dude, World Star tried to kill him with that, and it's like, World Star, you created this
Yeah.
monster. You thought he was gonna get canceled. You thought he was gonna get flagged by YouTube, and they were gonna shut his shit down. Nah, it went the other way. Everybody was like, "Who is this dude? This dude is hella funny." And look what happened: 1 million on the tube, a
Mm-hmm.
million on the gram. He's done. This man is literally here to stay.
Yeah.
And now, like you said, we got the fans watching. We got dudes who don't even make that. We got dudes who are not even making 40. And I'm not shitting on anybody's salary. But for you to have audacity and really talk shit, loving the way these women are getting chopped down is damn near kind of sad. And
Yeah.
it brings me to this point that you made in your video, which I threw my goddamn phone down the moment when you said this shit. The moment when you said the sex game must be at best. You talking all this shit about high
Um,
value man and this and then you said your sex game better be. I'm paraphrasing. You was talking about like your sex game better be on point, and it's like, huh? Is sex appeal? Is that something pivotal but that the man has to bring to the table? So Kev, let's talk about sex appeal for a second. Did black men really fall that short? Did it come to the point where is the D game low? Hey, chat, let us know. Is the D game low for men right now?
I think
But go ahead and answer that.
now, like, um, you just made a lot of valid points, and so I just want to agree with all of those things you said. But like, as far as the sex game, I talk to a lot of women, and people confess a great many things to me. Right? You'd be
Right.
surprised what people will say on the phone with me, a stranger, because they've seen me on YouTube, they feel comfortable with me. I'm pretty
Yeah.
empathetic. I've heard everything. What I've noticed is that about half of the women that I'm speaking to, like we always see these devil dick memes and women talk about how good the D is and stuff like that. But this is whole
Mm.
culture. This isn't the comment. Like everybody's not out here just enjoying themselves, right? That's kind of whole culture and love and respect. Like it ain't no, but that's what we doing. We're gonna be real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can tell you that the women I know that are chasing love, that want to be loved, and are chasing love from the wrong places, most of them, I'll be like, listen, I know it might be the greatest you ever had. I'm already just concede that this guy, you must be chasing him because he's the greatest. Because you're not getting called, you're not getting spoken to, you're not getting
Mm.
respected, you're not getting considered. Hell, he ain't breaking none of that bread you're hoping to benefit from eventually. He ain't breaking bread. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Six-figure man talking about go Dutch. Because he don't pay for no woman. Because he's been watching all the high value man content, not just Samuels, but like Alf, what's that? Alpha Male Chef,
AMS.
all these
Yeah.
guys, right? And I said, well, they must be doing that right. And I swear to God, bro, like half of them are like, nah, it's emotional with them.
Yeah.
It's emotional. Once you get a woman's mind and you get her heart, the rest of that shit just is nothing. Like whatever you do after that is just okay. And that's how.
Mm.
And I come when my services come in, I have to talk these women off the legs. Now listen, you better jump off this building. It's gonna ruin the next 2 years of your life if you can't even get piped in a way that you would prefer. What are you doing? Now, some people are
Ooh.
medicating. Some people are medicating themselves with sex too. So just to be clear, I'm not making light of this.
Yeah.
Those women who are medicating their toxic relationship with sex aren't in any better position. But you'd be surprised how many men tell women, what do you have to offer besides sex? And they say it with this condescension in their voice. And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all not even really offering the best sex. Like, it's assumed that these whorish men are great in the bed, and half the time they are inconsiderate. They pump and dump. They do whatever it takes to get out of there. They orgasm as quick as possible and run out the door. Can't pull their pants up before they get to the car. Like, these men are not considerate because they, you know why they're not considerate half the time? Half the women I talk to are chasing the wrong man, or being beat down emotionally by these guys, or not having good sex with them, and they're really not trying to please these women because they don't respect them, value them, or care for them at all. See, half of sex is a man's need and a man's nature to please his woman, to conquer her. And if you want a woman to feel conquered, a lot of times it's because you want her, like you want to leave an impression, right? But if you don't care about a woman, some of us who are just not naturally, good in bed, don't have the need and the internal like fire to conquer a woman. So they will take advantage of her. They will have sex with her. They will make like to her, but only as far as it would take them to orgasm. They don't really care about her pleasure because they don't care about her, right? It's like if a man wouldn't protect a woman, we always hear about women need to be protected, and that's women telling us, please, black man, protect us. But a lot of men are not willing to do that because they have a deep disdain for women in their heart. Right? A man will watch a woman get beat up in public, won't do a damn bit of nothing.
They will film the shit.
They'll film it. They get their cameras out. That's not me, but a lot of men, because they have a deep disdain for women, they wouldn't protect them. So imagine these same men are getting in bed with these women, right? And not only would they not have a woman be protected, they would hate me for protecting women and teaching them how to protect themselves. These same men get in bed with women with that same disdain and feel like they've accomplished something when they have orgasmed in this woman and then left before she got anything out of it. And that's what you get, bitch, because y'all ain't nothing, because so and so told me y'all ain't nothing, or Snoop Dogg, or pick the person who has a disdain for women and are programmed into their minds that the way to get over on a woman is to misuse her body, make her feel like a whore, and leave her in the pile of her own tears, or in the puddle of her own tears. These men approach everything they do with that disdain, and that's what's wrong with this high value man content. It's not that Kevin Samuels is saying everything wrong. Kevin Samuels and AMS and all the minions that protect them and that harass people like me and get in my comment section and call me Simpson. They're like Trump supporters, man. But they're wrestling fans. But these people, the problem isn't just that Kevin Samuels might say something and get a viral moment. I don't care about any of that. The problem is it affects all of my clients and all of my subscribers and all of my viewers who are really trying to get a different result, because now they are damaged by the men that follow him, and then they come to me and say, why did this guy do this to me? It was really out of his way. Why did he need to do that? Like, why was his intent to damage me? Well, because he's been sharing disdain. They've been passing this around. They're in a vacuum echo chamber of men who hate women that share disdain. They've talked themselves into a rage against the women they have yet to meet. And then when they approach you and when they handle you and when they speak to you, they speak down. When they have sex with you, it's literally to use you and to not be used by you. Like, they want to win sex. They don't want to have sex or experience your sexuality. It's not a mutual exchange at that. It's a taking. Right? Because they have a disdain, and that disdain comes out in everything they do and say about women. That's why I warned women in that video I did today is about that being a huge red flag. Men who follow that content religiously, because it becomes a religious disdain for women, in particular, most of the time, black women, has become a religion. Right? These men ain't at church on Sunday. They on YouTube on Sunday mornings. Man, I ain't got to work today. I'm gonna catch up on Kim Sims, catch up on AMS, or catch up on whoever the hell. And it's a million guys on TikTok. Everybody's an expert on TikTok. Damn.
Oh God.
TikTok is 10 times worse as YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's trashy.
You only need to say 30 seconds worth of stupid shit and you can go viral, and so you don't even have to have a mind.
Ain't that the truth?
So, like, these men approach everything that they do with disdain for a woman. And because they're hurt, they've disappointed. They didn't get the cheerleaders. They didn't get the number. They didn't get the response. They got friend zone. All of these things. These are men who most of the time are not high value men. The brokest men I know, legit, the brokest people I know are fanboys of this type of content. I don't know one man that makes listen, and I'm not rich, but I don't know one man who makes the amount of money that I make and I'm not a millionaire. I'm just not. I'm not rich at all. I don't know one man who even makes my money, like beyond six. Let's just say beyond six figures. I don't know a man who makes six figures who's sitting around watching that shit, trying to become a high value man, because you cannot train to be what you already are. Like, Reese, I'm not gonna be like, yo, let me teach you how to be a man who has wife and has kids and makes sure and handles his responsibility, right? We can bounce ideas off of each other out of respect, but I can't teach you like a baby, because you don't need that. I can't teach you how to be you. You already that. The men I know who have money don't even know who the hell these men are, these creators are, because they too busy getting money and handling their responsibility.
Right.
The men I know who don't have a damn two nickels to rub together. These the motherfuckers that be in the comment section calling me simp, talking about what Kevin Samuels is gonna do and what alpha male strategies are do and all this shit. And it's like, bro, it's just like people who vote for the pockets of millionaires and they're living in poverty. Lord forbid a person who makes $40,000 vote for a liberal who might do thus and so to the tax code, right? Just because they're hoping that eventually that millionaire will trickle down some benefit to them. You make $40,000 and you 60. You ain't about to be no millionaire. So what the hell you so mad that a millionaire might have to pay 1% more, right? And again, it's not political because I'm kind of fiscally conservative, so I'm not making a liberal versus conservative point, but the idea that somebody might take action against their own self-interest in order to be a part of a group and to feel special and to feel seen. Because these men that are going to these places and talking to these women and encounter them, they don't feel valued, loved, or seen. And that becomes the disdain source. That's the trigger. And it turns into them mishandling women and then hoorahing each other and jumping around, hot slapping five like they had a football game just because they watched a man talk down to somebody. And then he finds the stupidest women that I've ever seen in my life. It's like when the news cameras go to the hood and they find that nigga with no teeth and no shirt and no shoes. And they're like, what happened? And he'd be like, man, I'll tell you the whole thing, but you got some weed? Like, right? Like, why'd you put a camera in this man's face? You know, clearly he's not equipped. It's a guy with a shirt, with glasses, with shoes, with, you know, articulation skills right next to him, but you asked the man that looked like he hadn't been in a shower in 3 years because it's entertainment. And that's kind of what it is. That's kind of what happens here. I've seen I could go on forever. What was you talking about, man? I don't even know what you were saying.
No, well, see, I like when you go ahead and empty the clip. We don't get much of this from Kev, y'all. I had to switch your ass off.
I got a whole lot more bullets, bro.
No, I know we have to empty the clip. We need to get into that simp area. See, I had no idea that. For one, I had no idea that even folks from that circle, from him, would even come over to see your channel and see it. Probably because, you know, your body count is high, you know, so they probably just see your mobility and your progression, and they probably think like, okay, this is the new Derek Jackson, when you're pretty much far, you know, from that nigga. Like, let's just keep the shit real.
Yeah.
So them calling you a simp because you do what I do. We break bro code. Because like you said something very important. Pretty much, it's okay for us to pretty much go disrespect women, pump and dump the women, but don't do it to my sister. Don't do it to my mom.
Yeah, everybody.
Don't do it to any woman. Don't do it to the women that I know and shit. Like, no, we don't.
It's like, ain't shit but holding tricks, except for my mama. You better watch what you say about my mama, my little sister, my cousin, my friend. I'm in the friend zone with it. All the bitches is hoes and shit, except for the one woman, the one vagina that I'm attracted to, or the one vagina that I'm connected to through blood or family. And she needs respect. She's a princess, but all the rest of these bitches need to die. Like, it's weak. It's pathetic, fam. It's weak.
No, it is, and this is the part that kind of hurts because you got boys. I'm pretty much like the only one in the circle, you know, who has a daughter. So yeah, I have to be objective. I just can't, like, same thing when I game my son up, I'm gonna game him up. Don't get me wrong, but I gotta game her up on first. Put her up on game first. She is going to experience some heartbreaks. That's inevitable. That's the only way you're gonna grow. But can I make sure that she doesn't get hurt? Well, that's my job as a father. That's what I got to do. And I wanted to address also what somebody put in the chat. Somebody actually mentioned, a long time ago, like, where was all this information before? How come nobody told me? All the OGs are pretty much either dead or locked up. All the OGs are gone. Yeah, that street corner shit is done. That barbershop shit is done. Kicking it on the stoop and shit, it's done. Where are the new OGs at? I'm 42 years old, so I'm the new OG. So it's pretty much my responsibility to pretty much just go ahead and give that authentic game to men and women to the best of my ability, especially the fact that I am a married parent.
Right.
So I can't fuck up. I have to keep the shit real. I can't be on no red pill married shit and just be like, hey, you do you, pump and dump it. No. I actually really have to keep it real because guess what? I have a footprint. My daughter can go on YouTube and literally show my shit to her friends at school. So in a way, I kind of have to keep it 100. I have to keep it solid. I can't lean on either side. I have to stay in the middle. Some will even say that you lean more over to the women's side, so that pretty much that you're like pandering and shit. But then again, that means that they haven't really seen all the majority of your content. What you're doing is really, you are definitely being very overprotective with your content. Like if a dude is practicing, if a dude is just want to pump it up, if he just want to smash, like I jumped in, I jumped in and donated to a couple of your lives and stuff. Whenever you hop on, you are literally gaming them up as far as security. Like if you do not want to get hurt, if you do not want to get played, this is that. But that's what happens. These dudes see that same shit. The red pill or boneheads. They come over, they see what you're doing. It's like, he's fucking up the game. He's snitching and shit.